much.
Now, in other news, Donald Trump is back on the campaign trail following an attempt on his life.
Yes, the former US president was seen sporting a bandage on his ear when he was greeted with cheering crowds at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin last night.
Well, it comes as Donald Trump names Ohio Senator JD Vance as his vice presidential nominee, who last week, during a conference, described the UK as an Islamist country with nuclear weapons.
Yes, or that it will be one. A former advisor to Trump's transition team, Dr. Jan Halper-Hayes, joins us now. Thank you very much indeed for your time. I imagine the mood in that convention centre was electric.
It was. In fact, it was so exciting. I was on the phone with some people there, and they couldn't hear me, just the noise that was going on and the enthusiasm and everyone that came and spoke. But most of all, they loved the pastor that did the imitation of Trump before his benediction. And he said, "I will be blessing you. You will be blessed. It will be the greatest bless. It will be the highest bless." And Trump was laughing. So it was good to see that he had a sense of humor about himself.
Now, of course, this pick of JD Vance is controversial to some extent. He's very much a young senator. He's only been in the Senate for 1 year. Of course, he was originally a critic of Trump, now very much seen as a MAGA Republican, as someone very, very closely allied to Donald Trump. One of the concerns that has been raised, of course, is that this limits the broadening of the tent. So there was some speculation that Trump might go with someone who's seen as a bit more of an establishment Republican to make sure that he has the broadest possible reach. Instead, he's doubling down on Trumpism.
Well, it's not Trumpism, it's America first. And there would be no way he would have ever picked anyone from the establishment, because they are the rhinos, Republicans in name only. And I think we've discussed this before, that there is a uniparty that is going on. And in fact, what some people say about JD Vance is that he has a lot of enemies. And by that, it's actually viewed as a positive thing, because it means he's been fighting against those rhinos.
And Dr. Jan, I must ask you what you make of these comments that have resurfaced from last week's National Conservatism Conference. JD Vance saying that when he's thinking about what the first truly Islamist country to get a nuclear weapon might be, he says maybe it's Iran, maybe Pakistan. And then we finally decided it's actually the UK since Labour took over. What do you think he's getting at there?
Honestly, I have no idea. I mean, I would like to hear it from his mouth, but I have no idea.
It does talk to the fact that this is a guy who does shoot from the hip, who has spoken at many, many conferences. Of course, he's a best-selling author. He's been a television pundit. There's going to be a lot of material that he has said over the years that will be surfacing now.
Well, of course, you're absolutely right about that. One of the things that bothers me in the mindset is how he's being accused of having been a never-Trumper, and he became a Trumper. And as you both know, I sit on a task force with the Department of Defense, and I monitor the thinking and whether people are waking up and how the change is going. And I always find it interesting when they come from this all or nothing mindset. You said something bad a long time ago, therefore you will be condemned and you cannot change your mind. Where he has openly talked about the fact that he misjudged Trump and slowly got to know him.
I mean, suggesting that this country...
We need to have the right... Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, suggesting this country could be the first truly Islamist country to get a nuclear weapon... I mean, it's not very diplomatic, is it?
Well, I'm not sure that he was picked to be diplomatic.
Yes.
Trump isn't exactly diplomatic. So if you're going to have that criteria, let's just agree it's not on the list.
I just wish he'd given more context, what exactly he's talking about here. Some people are suggesting that maybe he was talking about Sadiq Khan because Trump's had a fractious relationship with Sadiq Khan, but I don't think it's that. I mean, is he talking... Oh, I don't know. We'd have to ask him. We'll have to get him on.
I promise you that I will do my research and I will send a message to the producer once I understand. I'll call a few people for you.
We'll have to get you back on. Dr. Jan Halper-Hayes, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your time and your thoughts. An interesting time in American politics.